is the place where real dialogue matters.
Make some noise for that sound, man.
It is time to take flight with Audio Airstrike.
What's up, everybody? This is Everett Hall-McNeill, and this is Audio Airstrike, and also this is the second Annual Airstrike Awards. I've been on vacation, spending time with family throughout Christmas and the New Year, so I'm happy to be back. Happy New Year. This is 2020, and hopefully you all got 2020 vision. And for those of you who don't, and I know I'm right by, look, I'm still struggling with political correctness because I just made an insult to somebody that don't have 2020 vision. My guest at this time is none other than Jeff Henson. You've seen him plenty of times on Audio Airstrike before, friend of the show. How you doing, man? Appreciate you.
Since we making corny jokes, I guess everybody got 2020 vision this year. So how you doing? I'm glad to be back, man. Let's get into this shit.
Oh, man, that's awesome. One of the things that I wanted to get into is the year that was 2019. I'm just going to really start off with the first category for the second Annual Airstrike Awards. The best song of 2019. The choices are Lil Nas X, O Town Road, Billie Eilish, Bad Guy, DaBaby, Suge, Lizzo, Truth Hurts, and Taylor Swift, Cruel Summer. Without question, I think we all know who had the best song of 2009 is in terms of impact, in terms of sonic, how it did, in terms of the catchiness of the song, in terms of that thing was played everywhere and all ages sang along to that song. You want to do the honors?
I mean, it's definitely little Nas X, Old Town Road, but here's my thing. Who the fuck picked these songs? Explain to these people these songs that you came up with for these Airstrike Awards, because I can name 10 better songs than that.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I went off of what was the popular songs. I didn't sit there and go, okay, what is my personal favorite songs in 2019, to be honest. I didn't sit there and go, okay, if a hip-hop head was picking the top 5 songs or, top 5 or 6 songs of 2019, what would they be? I was trying to pick something. These picks were more of like if everybody had a say.
So here's my question, right? It's because we're going to start it off with the question. Just keep the question for the whole show. Mm-hmm. How did you go about what were the most popular songs? Because I'm pretty sure that the number one, 2 trending songs were from Machine Gun Kelly's diss towards Eminem, and then...
But that was 2018, though.
Was that 2018?
That was 2018. Trust me, I checked.
And what about 2019?
2019, there was nothing.
No Scorpion, nothing? Was that all that 2018?
That was all 2018.
Really? So 2019 just sucked then. Why is Post Malone not on there, bro? Hold up. I'm calling bullshit on this. I can't believe that was 20... Dude, I cannot believe that was 2018. That's oh my god.
Yeah,
this whole year just went flying by.
Right.
That whole beef was 2018?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Pushing Drake was 2018.
Oh my god.
Eminem and MGK was 2018.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
So
it literally felt like it was this year that just passed. Like that's crazy.
That's because we were still talking about it into this year.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably why.
So
maybe the Nick Cannon and shit brought it back up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
It's the weather.
Nick Cannon should get the worst.
But I got you. Okay.
But anyway, the reason why I picked these categories, one, because I'm looking at impact, and I can't just look at impact solely based off of one particular group. I have to look at impact overall. Billie Eilish, for example, had a great year.
She was
and
breakout,
and Bad Guy was playing everywhere. DaBaby, need I say more? Lizzo, towards the final quarter of the year, became a household name.
What do you mean? Need you say more?
He had a hot year.
Garbage.
I'm not.
Hot garbage.
Look, I'm not. Am I saying that he makes the best music ever over everybody? No. But you can't deny the year he's had. You take away his
You damn right I can't deny the year he's had. He's been locked up 3 times. Every song is about selling drugs. All right, you know what? This is about the Airstrike Awards. Let's just keep going. Old Town Road.
No, keep that,
I'm not going off on this,
keep
man.
that same energy. No, go ahead.
This ain't my business, all right?
Go ahead.
Keep going. Who's next?
All right, so we know Old Town Road has basically won Best Song of the Year.
I will say, if we're going to do a runner-up, I will say it has to be Lizzo, because that's also another song. Like Old Town Road.
It's a chick's anthem.
Yeah. I got you, but hold on, let me get into it.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
You know, TikTok is a pretty popular thing today. You know, it's one of the bigger, platforms since Vine was taken away. And TikTok, they have a lot of loop songs. Old Town Road was a hot trending one for like 16 weeks straight.
Right.
That Lizzo song, that was on there for a long time straight. Like a lot of people always did renditions of that song. So, you know, those are two pretty trendy songs on TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that both those songs really kind of, you had Old Town Road dominating most of the year because it was a mesh between hip hop, country music, and people didn't know where to put it. I think that's what made it over the top too, was people didn't know where to put this song. Was it a hip hop song? Was it a country song? Well, what is it?
I think it was
crossovers.
It's one of if you put it in perspective, to me that's a pop song. It's a pop hip hopish song. Like, yeah, they do pay homage to a little bit of country roots, but if you put this song in perspective alone, I think it was a great commercial song. And I think that's what really would put it in places. You're going to hear it in bowling alleys. You're going to hear it, you know, in grocery stores. You're going to hear it everywhere. It was a very great commercial song, like skating rings, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's trendy to the point to where, you know, you don't got to worry about playing it at a kid's birthday party.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about a PG rating or a PG-13 rating or whether or not it's a rated R rating. You could just play it anywhere. And I think that's what put that song, you know, pretty high up there.
And I think the remix even made it more popular, especially with, you know, taking Billy Ray Cyrus. And I will say this, shout outs to Billy Ray Cyrus and basically standing up for this kid, basically being like, look, I'm going to get behind this kid because this kid's got a nice song. It's a great song. It's bringing people together. Performing it at, you know, multiple music festivals and stuff of that nature. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, he knows all about stealing people's music. Don't get me started, man. That's why you don't bring me on these kind of things.
Jeff with a 3-point line with the insults.
Good song, you know, very catchy. I like it. Let's keep it going.
All right, so the next category is Best Movie of 2019. We got, now this is going to be a little bit of a tougher list.
For you, not for me. But honestly, out of all the lists, this is probably your best list because this is the one that, you know, did have me going, okay, but okay. I had to have to actually sit down and think about it.
Right.
It wasn't just, oh, what the hell is this and why is this on the list?
Right.
So go ahead.
So now, before I say anything, there is some cine beast out here, or cine people, my film people. The list includes both blockbusters and films that you guys would like. So before the cine beasts come on my timeline talking about Everett, that list is trash because you didn't have this movie on there, understand I am picking these based on audience reaction, based on criticism from the audience and film buffs, those who went to film school. So I'm taking that into account. I'm trying to keep in mind about both audiences, not just one. For the cine beast out there, you know, you got to put them in line sometime. Best movie of 2019. These are the nominees: Avengers Endgame, Joker, Marriage Story, Parasite, and finally Us. Jeff, I'm gonna let you go first with who you think.
See, this one was a tough one for me because if you take the list away and you go, okay, well, what was the best and what reason? I'm just going to say Joker. Straight out, Joker was probably the best film of the year just for me. But when you sit back and you think about it, I had problems with Endgame. But there are certain things in that movie that would put that movie at a top tier that I would say if this was the category, Endgame's taking this category, if that makes sense. Same with Us. Same with Parasite. I didn't see the Marriage Story, or what's it called? Marriage Story.
Marriage Story.
I've never seen
did.
that. I've never seen it.
You got to see that one. That one be a runner. Like if we're just talking about if we're just going off of performance, like strong performance in a film, if that's what makes this, if that's the deciding factor, then Marriage Story might be top 2. If we're going strictly off of acting performances,
I'd have to take it from you, but I will say that Joker had probably the strongest acting performance I've seen in a long time.
Definitely.
I haven't seen the Joker acted this well or just portrayed to this kind of like sinisterness in a long time since Heath Ledger. So, you know what I mean? It's been a while. So I'm gonna say Joker, but give credit to all the other movies other than the one I haven't seen.
All right, so this is gonna be hard for me, because if I say what I'm going to say, I know the Cine Beasts are gonna kill me for saying it.
And plus, can I add into that? I feel like those directors that directed us, it's the same thing every movie with them, and I have an issue with that because they just did a remake of a movie, and I cannot think of the name of it. I knew I was going to blank on it. It's the remake of that movie to where the college students are like getting, what's it called?
What was it, Revenge of the Nerds?
No, it's a scary movie. It's a horror movie,
and it's centered around like a college
based party. It was
Scream?
remade. No. I want to say Black Christmas. The directors, same directors, man, same people.
So
these are your boys.
So Jordan Peele and his crew.
I cannot think what this movie's called, but they remade it. It was remade. It's from the 70s or the 60s or maybe the 80s, and it was remade 10, 15 years ago, and then they just remade it again this year. It just came out, but I cannot think of the name of it. But I watched it. And I got the same feel from it as every movie I've watched of theirs. Wait for the big cinematic sound song to come on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And which is cool. That's a cool vibe to them. But I feel like, sometimes you got to change it or else I'm going to feel like I'm watching the same kind of movie over and over. That's where I'm kind of getting at. We're going to leave it at that. Maybe Everett can edit in the actual name of the movie.
Yeah.
After this. But yeah, I can't think of it. I'm going to go with Black Friday or Black Christmas. We're going to go with Black Christmas. You can look that up.
Yeah, we can always make the connection. We can always edit it and figure it out. But for me, if we're talking, all right, so let me say this for the record. If we're talking strictly the hype and the popular answer, then I'm going Avengers.
Right.
Making $1 billion, this being built up over 12 years. And stuff of that nature. I know the Cine Beasts have a problem with it because it's Disney pushing it and behind it. Whatever. I said I could have been a real jerk and could have put Star Wars on here if I wanted to, but I'm not going to.
I'm glad you did, boy, because we would have had a whole podcast about trash. Jeez, don't even get me started. My gosh.
Okay. I would have put it on there just for fun, just to be funny. If I'm,
let's do that, man. Let's podcast about movies.
Yeah,
let's get a whole list of movies maybe in the past 5-10 years, and let's sit here and talk about them.
I mean,
bad ones, good ones, especially DC. DC's under a hot light right now.
Right.
So they definitely need to be dismembered, and they need to be talked about. But so you're putting Endgame in there for that reason. I'm putting Joker in there for the reason of rebirth. I felt like this is the one they got right in the longest time. And don't get me wrong, Wonder Woman was a good film. Aquaman was a really good film. I felt like it was not, it does not deserve to be taken out of the DC universe. But I do feel like this one was their home run hitter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This one didn't lean on special effects and stuff like that. This one leaned on the fact that, okay, dude, holy shit, this motherfucker's really crazy. You know what I mean? This dude's nuts. And I'm like, holy fuck, man, this dude is literally telling you what mental health is, and they're surrounding it, and then that's the character. Splash.
So now, if I was going based on just that, but I also with this best movie to list and me being in film school, me being knowing what the themes would be and stuff of that nature, some of y'all aren't gonna like this. If this was based on strictly acting performances, Marriage Story and Joker would be battling it out. But because of the I'm talking impact, especially with this film coming out around the time that people get depressed and start thinking about mental health and stuff of that nature, I'm going to lean towards Joker, but it's a light lean towards Joker because Marriage Story was up there for me.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
And
if you tell me it's that good, I'm gonna watch it.
And Parasite was another close one. Like between those three, if you had turned around and told me that Parasite was your best movie of 2019, I'm not going to argue with you. If you told me that Marriage Story was your best movie of 2019, I'm not going to argue with you. But I'm leaning a light lead towards Joker.
People watch movies for different reasons. All of us watch movies for the same reason. To get out of our own reality. When you get out of the reality of your own mental health and you watch The Joker, then not only are they actually circling something that needs to be circled in 2019, because mental health is a major issue in our economy.
Facts.
And nobody understands that. That terrible, terrible, terrible customer service you got could have been because someone just cussed her out or him out 20 minutes prior, and they don't know how to react because guess what? They're dealing with their own mental health now. And some can argue, oh, they don't belong there then. Well, guess what? Not all of us can choose where we work, how we want to work, or not all of us can choose the mental capacity that we have. So for me, that's why I think Joker took this on a home run. If you want to go off of cinematics and a 12-year build-up and, just great fighting action scenes and CGI, then go with Endgame. But if you want to go off of straight impact and just a great performance by somebody that everybody was like, who, that dude's playing Joker and blah, blah, blah. Man, you got to go with Joker, dude. That shit, it mind boggled me, and I don't get mind boggled. I've seen a lot of crazy shit in my life. You know what I mean? But yeah, Joker for me.
So we're going to lean towards Joker being the best movie of 2019. You guys do not have to agree with everything that we say, but not. we're just subjective. We're putting our opinions out there. You Cinebeats got a problem with it, you can call me. I'm glad some of y'all ain't got my number. Anyway, we're going to move on to the best sports moment of 2019. Now, this is going to be real interesting because I'm curious as to what Jeff is going to pick. The nominees are Andy Ruiz defeats Anthony Joshua. The Raptors become NBA champions. Tiger Woods winning his first Masters in 11 years. The Nationals winning the World Series. And Lamar Jackson's MVP season.
You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
As a boxing fan, Andy Ruiz, what he did, it really was a lot of talk behind it, and it shocked a lot of us, particularly me. I'm not going to lie, even though I thought that dude could bang, which he can, it did shock me because you look at Joshua and you're like, that's the physical specimen of, a godlike, being. If you look at anything, like chiseled in stone, that's what he looks like. If you're going off of a perfect image, perfect body, perfect build, perfect athleticism, you got Anthony Joshua. So this dude shocked the world, right? Here's my problem with it. This is why it's not going to be mine. He rematched 3 months later and got his ass whipped. Don't get me wrong. It does not take away from the moment. It does not take away from that shock factor. And it does not take away the fact that this dude went out there and changed his life. But this is what takes away from it. He went out there 20 pounds heavier in the rematch because he made it. He got happy. And he basically took a Rocky story and turned it into, I'm good where I'm at.
Right.
That takes it away from me.
Whole lot of complacency.
The Toronto Raptors was a bit of a shocker, but they also had a super team built up. Let's not act like they don't. Let's not act like they didn't. Now, yes, they did beat the Jazz.
Are you sure about that? Because it's more so, I got to disagree with you, and here's why.
All right.
You're talking about super team. Do you know who's on the other side of that Warriors team?
I do. I'm not. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, my bad. I just.
I was about to tell you.
I was trying to debate with you a little bit.
I was about to tell you that Golden State does have, probably 3 of the best players in the league. But here's the thing: who's on that bench?
Oh, no bench.
Toronto Raptors has the better team overall because of their bench. In my opinion, now this is all subjective. In my opinion, it's all subjective, like you said. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. I felt like Toronto Raptors, they built a better overall team. And yes, they did have a super team. But then if you noticed about the Golden State Warriors, as soon as one person gets hurt, it all crumbles. And that's not a great team, in my opinion. You know, this isn't the 94 Bulls, 95 Bulls, not even the 96 Bulls, you know, and we're going to leave it at that. So just for that reason. I'm trying to dissect it a little bit. Tiger Woods, I don't give a fuck. Now, this is obviously going to hit home for me. So this is going to be out of the Nationals, or it's going to be out of Lamar Jackson's MVP season, and I'm going with Lamar Jackson's MVP season.
There you go.
Because it hit more home for me, because I'm obviously a Ravens fan.
Right.
I obviously was the most critical on this guy out of our group of friends. I'm probably not, because I wasn't. Oh my God, he sucks. You know,
right.
He has some issues, but we have some people in our group of friends that were trash. They just, he's a terrible quarterback.
Y'all know who y'all are.
Yeah, they know exactly who they are. But I will say this: out of all my criticism, out of all my, doubts, he turned it around, and look what he has done. Out of any quarterback in our history, and I'm not going to sit here and bash Joe Flacco, because I don't. You already know I was never a big Joe Flacco fan, but Joe Flacco
made it adamant.
Done some amazing things for our team, on our team, and with our team. And that's bottom line. You can sit here and argue Joe Flacco all you want. 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, Super Bowl MVP. Until somebody else on our team or somebody else as QB does that for us, can't nobody sit there and argue nothing. That's bottom line. He made the playoffs every year, and he...
Not every year.
Well, he made the playoffs for the first, rookie season till they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, come on now. That's impressive.
Yeah, but I got to correct you. You did say every year.
Well, yeah, I meant every year from his rookie season up to the Super Bowl win.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, like, come on. Impressive. He had the best winning record in all of our history, And I think that Lamar Jackson's on pace to do better than that. So, Lamar Jackson MVP season is probably the biggest and the best sports moment for me.
All right.
And maybe this Super Bowl win.
Right, maybe.
Maybe this Super Bowl win, baby. Let's run it home, as they would say.
Exactly. So here's the issue, right? It's not a real issue, but what this kid had to go through in terms of people constantly doubting him and him proving them wrong week after week after week. He's not a good passer. He's throwing passes to anybody around. Mark Andrews. He's throwing passes to Willie Snead. He's throwing passes, and for the most part, they are there where they need to go. And he's doing some pretty unique passes, but not only that, he's using his legs. We have not seen a guy use his legs like this ever in this league. The closest is, and I'm not trying to compare him, but the closest I've seen that to is Michael Vick, and it's still a far distance. And the fact that he not only, because
Michael Vick ain't throw 36 touchdowns.
Right. And also you got to look at this, right? When you look at the Chargers playoff game, the criticisms, the hate, and all this and that, he is a totally different player from that. I grabbed a Lamar Jackson jersey the first time he played the Chargers because I really think this kid has something special, and he has proved it. This is way before the hype train got to it. This is way before everybody was saying big trust. This is way before everybody was calling him MVP. I bought a jersey because I was really convinced that this kid, if he gets his act together in terms of just, and not that he was a terrible person. He's a good-hearted kid, grew up in a good, decent home. Mother was teaching him all the right things. You can see that in his interviews. He's a good, solid dude. Does what he's supposed to do and does, looks out for his team. Gave his whole offensive line Rolex watches. How thoughtful is that? So, I mean, you're sitting over here. When I sit over here and I look at the improvement that he has made, the attention to detail, the will to win, the passion, it's all there. And he has become a young lion and a young leader. I haven't seen this much adoration, and I may be This may be a hot take. I haven't seen this much adoration for a Ravens player in a long time since Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
He's got a compelling quality to him.
Right.
That even if you hate this guy, you're kind of cheering for him. Like even with my doubts, and don't get me wrong, they're still there. I'm not going to sit here and act like he's the best passer I've ever seen in my life, because he's not. And I doubt he ever will be, if I'm being strictly honest with you. But, passer rating, touchdown ratio, interception ratio doesn't lie. Winning record doesn't lie. We're not in this game of football to look pretty. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Ain't nobody going to have a pretty game every game. It's not going to happen. This is football. If they have a perfect game every game, then this isn't football anymore. But he's compelling. And the number one thing that I like about him, it's not the fact that he can run. It's not the fact that he can throw. It's not the fact that he's winning. Of course, I like winning. I want to win. That's why he's on our team. But the way he takes charge, the way he owns up to it, that leadership quality he has, you cannot teach that.
And you can't find that in every quarterback that gets drafted, a la Baker Mayfield.
And honestly, that he's a Baker Mayfield.
I'm just saying, the man got more commercials than wins. I'm just saying, bro. I'm sorry.
Leave that kid alone, man. He's on a dying fucking dynasty that ain't never gonna happen again. I mean, it's like going to Detroit. But whatever. Yeah, he's trash. But here's the bottom line. When you got a guy that can indulge you and then literally have you just like, damn, and bringing you in, that's a great player. That is a great entity. That's what kind of shit you want surrounding your kids. That's the kind of shit you want somebody to go, damn, I want to be like Lamar Jackson. And it's not the fact that he's out there running the ball and breaking people's ankles and he's got highlight reels. That's all plus. The best thing about this kid is he's a movement. He's not just a movement, but how can you say it?
He's the epitome of what you're looking for in a quarterback.
He's the embodiment of a role model. That's all I'm saying. That's a leader. That's a winner. That's our quarterback. Hate him or love him. Guess what? We're going to the Super Bowl.
Big trust all day. Now we're going to move on to, let me tell you something. This is one of them awards. I wish Lamar Jackson was here and I wish I had a trophy made because he definitely deserves it. Moving on to the best political moment of 2019. I'm just going to read off some of the list. Trump triggers the longest shutdown in history, the Mueller report, the largest Democratic presidential debate, and Trump's impeachment or the move to impeachment.
My pick is all of them. You know why? Because this goes to show you how fucked up this country is. Go ahead.
He said all of them. Because this country's trash.
Notice how everything you said there was Democrat this, Democrat that. That's all that mattered. That's all I needed to know. But we forget, what house freed the slaves.
Yeah, we do forget that.
And don't get me wrong, bro. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't really vote. I probably plan on voting. And it's probably going to be for a Democrat. But it's not going to be for a Democrat that does Democratic things. Andrew Yang, to me, is what I think this country needs. Somebody who actually looks at the underlining of problems and not somebody that surfaces around the problems. But we're not here to debate all that. But I just think that everything you put in that list is just bullshit. It's all Democratic this, Democratic that. They don't like to lose. Right.
So with that being said, the biggest political moment of the year, I feel like it's Trump's, the Democrats moving to Trump's impeachment for this reason. Now, keep in mind, I'm kind of in the same boat with Jeff. I really don't support either party. I feel like they all, at the end of the day, they all work for the same government. I've said this multiple times on this show. They all work for the same government. So the last thing that they're going to have in mind is what we want, what the middle class wants, even what the rich want, or even what the poor want. If it follows in line with what they want to do, they will exploit that. If it doesn't, they're just going to ignore you. Nobody knows that better than black folks. But anyway, that's another story for another time. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Trump's impeachment. And that is pretty much all the categories for this year's Airstrike Awards. I wanted to keep it concise because I wanted to parlay with you about a couple things. One of those things being is everything that's gone on this decade. And I just wanted your thoughts on it. In terms of entertainment, who do you think, if you were to pick one person, entertainment-wise, that was that dude for the decade, who would that be? Artist-wise.
Dwayne Johnson. Oh, artist-wise.
So we're going to go music artist. We're going to go actor.
Drake.
I had a feeling you were going to say Drake. OVO Jeff. No, I'm playing.
Oh, we can go post. I mean, I'm not going to argue either. For me, it's Drake or Post.
I feel like
that's my two picks. I'm going to leave them at a 50-50. I'll let somebody else choose.
If we're talking, it's definitely we're definitely talking Drake up there. Definitely putting Drake.
You got to understand something. When did Take Care come out?
2011.
Bro,
he's consistent.
That's in this decade, my dude.
He's consistent.
Album after album.
2010s. He's consistent.
That's my artist, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a Drake fan. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not. I'm also a Post fan. You know, but you know, I'm pretty sure yours is going to lean to more towards like a J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar. That's fine too.
I would put if it was up to me, I would put. Here's why I wouldn't put.
But I'm going off of dominating charts year after year, feature after feature.
That's why I'm putting Drake. That's why I'm putting Drake at number one. If I had to put somebody at number two, Post came around mid 2010s. He ain't dominate the whole decade.
Exactly.
That's why,
without thought, Drake.
Right. Post came around mid 2010s and he's had a pretty good run, a really good run. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not had one. I would have to put Kendrick at two for one specific reason. Pimp the Butterfly, Damn. The Damn album alone getting a Pulitzer Award, which I don't think any other hip hop album has that. That's big. The only reason why I don't put him at number one, he's not as consistent and does not have his catalog isn't as big as Drake. It seems like with Kendrick, it's more of quality over quantity. With Drake, you're gonna get both. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, there's some things Drake comes out with. I'm like, that's trash, like that War freestyle. Get me started with that dumb shit. I'm not saying
that wasn't his best bars on War.
I'm not saying that the bars were trash. I'm just saying like, oh, you're not from the UK. Stop. I'm just saying I didn't like it. All right, I'm gonna go there. I didn't like it. I'm a Drake fan, but it's the consistency, man. He doesn't let you forget him. I couldn't even think of Kendrick Lamar's name, dude. I was sitting here thinking, I was like, holy shit. And this is your boy. And I'm thinking to myself, like, God damn, we've had this argument already.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
And that's because what's the last thing he put out? Like, I don't know. It's been a while,
he's not
man.
going to put, he put Damn out, but Damn was like 2017.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, for me, it's the consistency. If Drake's not putting out an album, he's on 20 features. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's there. He's right there. And that's the difference, I think, in Drake and a lot of other artists is he makes sure he's around. He makes sure whether he's at a Toronto game or whether he's at another basketball game, you know, fucking with people or something, dude, he's there.
Right. So if we're going, so we've solidified Drake as the artist of the 2010s. I'm cool with that. In terms of actors, and I'm not saying they got to be and once again, this is where that argument between the film purist and the regular audience.
I already said Dwayne Johnson, so I might as well jump into it.
Yeah, you might as
the
well.
Consistency. He's been in every damn film that's ever been out.
Well, the biggest franchise movie that's ever been out.
I'm just joking, but like he took on that role as the next big action star. Kind of not, because I don't really get that big action star feel from him for some reason.
Well,
but what I do get from him is the consistency. He took on that. What was that nickname they gave him? The franchise saver.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like for that reasoning, you know, Dwayne Johnson's been there. He's out here, and he's in almost every year. He's in a movie. Consistency. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
He, you know,
like we could probably sit here and name 10 other better actors.
Right.
Honestly.
But it's just consistency over time and just impact. What he's done at the box office, what he has done over the course of his career. Just the fact that he was able to take the charisma that you saw from his wrestling career and easily transform that into his acting. Now, it wasn't done overnight, but it took time to harness that.
I kind of rebuttal my answer there. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll let you finish.
But when you sit over there and look at what he has done, and he was able to take the stuff from his pro wrestling career, morph that into his acting, speech. Because if you look at the top of 2010, 2011, he was already once faster. The ball got rolling for him, like just putting out stuff, was when he got introduced in the Fast series and Faster. That was the start. That was the start of him really taking off and really harnessing that role as the next action star. The stuff that he's been able to do, oh my goodness! And I've never seen an actor finesse merchandise the way that he has finesse. And finesse sounds like a bad word, but it's positive over here. That's how I feel. I'm just using that as the verbiage I want to use. The way he has finessed the ability to motivate people through his Instagram, through his clothing line partnership with Under Armour, through the tequila that's probably going to be coming out sometime this year. He went from wrestler, actor to entrepreneur and made smooth transition in doing so. Let's not forget Ballers, which he wasn't punching a whole lot of people. He was in the middle. He was basically playing a sports agent, a lucrative sports agent down in Miami. Like, that's literally like, so the diversity in his roles in the film or television that he's playing. Here's a guy that's built like a superhero, but you don't see him in every other role that he's doing. He's not doing that abundance. He'll give you that, but he doesn't mind making a fool out of himself in front of the camera. He doesn't mind, turning around and doing an animated movie like Moana. The diversity of what he's able to do. I think that really gets overlooked by the amount of action stuff that he's in. The diversity that he brings to the table and what he's able to do. Like, anything he puts out, people are going to check it out. There are people that the cine beasts and the film people love, and I'm not trying to pick on y'all, but I'm just using that as an example. There are actors that are Academy Award winning actors that wishes that they had, the career that this guy had.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, The Rock is the man. Everybody knows it. But when I'm sitting here thinking about it, I couldn't help but think Kevin Hart. I couldn't help think but Kevin Hart. Not only does he come out year after year with something fresh, not all of them are great. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but not everything that The Rock comes out with is great either. But another guy who's consistent and is always on our televisions is Kevin Hart. And I just had to mention that. I still think probably Dwayne's probably going to be my pick. But if I want to give you something to maybe think on, it's Kevin Hart as well.
I would put him as comedian of the 2010s. He's definitely the comedian of the 2010s. It's not even close. It's not even close. The ball was dropped, and I'm catch a lot of heat for saying this too. Cat Williams dropped the ball because Cat Williams could have really ran with the torch if he wanted to, but due to personal issues. But Kevin Hart took that torch and dominated the entire 2010s.
He found out that cocaine hits harder than that little kid did. Stop playing with me today.
Oh, man. From the 3-point line with the jokes, with the buzzer beater with the jokes. My God. But yeah, man, I would put Kevin Hart as the comedian for the 2010s. But I'm telling you right now, if Chappelle keeps bringing these Netflix specials and these series on a more consistent basis, Kevin Hart ain't being the comedian of the 2020s. I'll tell you that right now.
Maybe not. I think he's more focused on Blockbuster.
Nah, I think so. Maybe.
I mean, when does he put out a comedic special? It's in, I think, what, 2016?
He had the Irresponsible tour. I don't know if it's 2018 or 2017. It's between one of those 2 years.
I know it was a while ago.
Yeah. And plus, he's been dealing. He had the car accident, and then he had the.
And it's still coming out with a movie, by the way.
Right, and
that's why I had to mention that dude. Him and Will Smith, maybe Will Smith too.
Will Smith fell off in terms of blockbusters.
He fell off in the terms of blockbusters, but he didn't fall off in the terms of being relevant. And I'm just going to leave that there.
Oh,
because
well,
he is coming back out with Bad Boys, and it does look pretty good.
Right.
You know, he did try to come out with that fresh, you know, like stolen version of Terminator, however you want to call it.
Right.
And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to act like, you know, he didn't play a great ass oh man, Suicide Squad. What was the name of the dude? Deadshot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and act like he ain't play a great Deadshot because he did. He made that movie for me, and that movie wasn't that good.
Oh, okay.
So probably a close, but not too close to number 2 for me.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you this: who is the female artist, music artist of the decade?
Rihanna. Maybe Taylor Swift, but maybe not.
You have to put Beyonce in that conversation.
If in the 20s, I don't think there's an argument. But in the 2010s, yeah. Rihanna took that ball from Tidal and she took over as the female artist of Tidal. That's my opinion. I don't think Beyonce's put out anything fantastic in a long time. And I'm not saying that Rihanna does, but I'm saying that she's definitely always on the radio. She's definitely always coming out with something. And honestly, in the past few years, right, it hasn't been too much from her. But
if she puts out something right now, everybody, I don't care what background cover, everybody is going to listen to that.
That's what I'm saying. And then, like I said, maybe Taylor Swift too, because she did have a really good hot streak for a minute, and then because I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan, so
right,
I gotta put that out there because Adele also had some stuff,
right?
You know what I mean? But like if you're thinking, like I said, this is all coming down to consistency for me. Who's the first person that pops in mind, and that's because they're relevant, right, and that's Rihanna,
right? When we're doing all these factor in relevancy, consistency, impact. Because
we also have like these breakout artists like LMA and what was the one chick that did the summer? I'm killing myself.
Talking about Summer Walker?
Huh?
Talking about Summer Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she just popped. We're just talking about her now.
But I'm saying I'm giving people examples of breakouts,
right?
Because a lot of people are going to be thinking, oh, what about LMA? Because that's all fresh right now.
Right.
Trip was a hot song.
Right.
The Summer Walker song was a hot song. You know what I mean? So you just got to. That's what some people think. But
yeah,
if I'm going off consistency in a whole decade, it's Rihanna.
Right. Right.
Point blank. Period.
And that's the thing people got to understand when you're bringing up these.
Shit. Maybe hold up, Cardi B. Nicki Minaj, bro. I don't know. This was kind of tough now, but I'm gonna stick with Rihanna.
I'll go Rihanna if we're talking strictly hip hop. As much as I don't like it when she starts complaining a lot, I have to give it to Nicki Minaj for a whole decade.
It's gonna have to be Nicki for me.
It's gonna have to be Nicki Minaj.
It's gonna have to be Nicki for me.
Cause the hip hop female scene didn't start becoming really competitive in that decade until you started seeing Cardi and Meg and Snow the Product all start to bubble.
For sure.
So I have to give
Dej Loaf and
right,
all those and
oh, she fell off though.
What was? Oh yeah, definitely. What was the one that came out with that song? Yeah, I hate, but I'm broke though. That chick.
Oh, you talking about Young M.A.?
Yeah, that's another one. Hey, whether you like it or not, she's still a girl.
I get that, but it's one song and then it's been kind of quiet. She wasn't consistent enough for me.
I'm getting to your point of the competitiveness.
Right.
Like you started seeing more female artists comes out with hits.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh hell no, she wouldn't be on my decade list. I'll be honest with you. I'm just saying.
He said she wouldn't be on my decade list.
Honestly, for me, it would have to. It's a bobble between Rihanna and Nicki Minaj because whether you like Nicki Minaj or not, bro, she was there.
Right.
But she was just like Drake. Remixes, features, albums, like consistently.
Right.
Fucking one of the top rappers in the world, starting the biggest beef in the world. You know what I mean? Like
you
she was there,
You have
bro.
to put it in my personal opinion. If we're talking about artists of the decade, it boils down to Nicki, Rihanna, and Beyonce. If we're boiling it down to one, Nicki's being thrown out, and it's between Beyonce and Rihanna. No disrespect to Nicki. You know, if we're talking hip hop, if we're talking strictly hip hop female artists, you're the one of the decade. But if we're talking overall impact, consistency,
not to get off topic here, but what if I was to throw to you the last 5 years?
If we're talking last 5 years,
Hip hop artist.
Then it's becoming a little bit.
Now we talking Cardi.
If we're talking
Just
talking
because
the
there's
last
going to
5
be, I
years,
just wanted to specify that because there's going to be people like, what about Cardi B? Well, she ain't been here 10 years.
Yeah,
Shut up.
she really popped 2017.
There you go. You heard it here first.
She really popped 2017. Now, don't
really,
get me
she
wrong.
was popping right out of high school. That's their business.
But she was climbing. I mean, she was climbing certain momentum around 2016 because she was on Love and Hip Hop, and then her personality, she's a star. Yep. However, you really didn't see that bubble burst until 2017 with Bodak Yellow.
There it is.
So if we're talking past 5 years, then of course Cardi's you have to put Cardi in the conversation. But we're talking a decade, so that wouldn't matter.
Gotcha.
Now she's going to dominate. This is a bold prediction. She's going to dominate the 2020s. If she keeps her team right, she's going to freaking dominate the 2020s.
She might, yeah.
I don't see, and this may be a little bit hot take, I don't see Meg Thee Stallion lasting that long. I think she maybe a 5-year run, maybe. I mean,
6-year run. If you think about like the relevancy of like who's still around, you still got like your Ariana Grande's who comes out and she puts on her pop albums and she's still relevant today. Right. And then when you think about like when it comes to hip hop artists, there's who else? Who else can you name other than Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and then the two that we named that probably aren't even rapping anymore?
Oh, Rhapsody. I forgot one. I forgot Rhapsody. I don't want to forget Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Rhapsody is probably going to have a good 2020s.
Yeah. Agreed.
But she may be the Kendrick Lamar of the 2020s. Like, not put out as much music, but when she puts it out, it's quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's another one to look out for in terms of hip hop female artists. Definitely Rhapsody. Rhapsody could easily dominate the 2020s easily because of the content as to what she's talking about. And it's not all that butt shaking and this and that and I'll go to the club and I'm drunk and I want to take your man. No, it's literally it's very like wholesome, like I'm giving you rhymes to think about. So, which that's going to attract a lot of people because this whole mumble rap dumb stuff is over. I'm glad it is.
I hope it's over.
Oh, trust me, it's over. Everybody that we were complaining about mumble rap is either, I hate to say it, dead or in jail. But I hate to say that, but it's true. Or overdosing. Now, with that being said, who is the best athlete of the decade?
Of the decade? Oh my God. If we were breaking this down into categories, bro, I don't think we have anything to discuss.
Just overall, no matter what sport, we're picking one guy or one girl.
Fuck, Tom Brady. I was boggling between him and LeBron. I'm gonna lie to you. But it was a tough one for me. He won 4 Super Bowls in this decade, my guy. 4 Super Bowls in this decade. Like, it's hard. That's a hard one for me. I'm more of a football fan than a basketball fan, so right. I got to go Tom Brady. But I won't. If you say LeBron, I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm picking LeBron, and I know what y'all going to say. You just don't want to pick Tom Brady, and I'm going to say you damn right I don't want to pick Tom Brady.
I didn't want to pick Tom Brady either, but you can't. 4. Come on, man. 4 Super Bowls.
I get it.
In a very physical, tough sport. You know what I mean? This isn't. I'm more athletic than you. This is football. See, football is more finesse, and I'm not saying that basketball is not, but football is more finesse because there's so much more that goes into winning than just one guy. Mm-hmm. If you got LeBron on your team, you know you're doing pretty well. If you got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green on your team, you're doing pretty well. You know what I mean? But if you got Tom Brady and maybe one receiver and a decent defense, you might win the Super Bowl that year. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. That's not what I meant. Tom Brady, a good receiver, a Gronkowski, you might, you know what I mean, like a great core, you might win a Super Bowl that year. But that's the difference between, football and basketball is it takes 32 men to make a great team. It takes 5 men to make a great basketball team.
Depends on... Well, I mean...
I'll argue 7 or 8 because you definitely need a bench. We just argued that earlier.
So in the 2010s, it was about super teams in NBA. I'll give you that. because everybody was in their cliques. LeBron had his clique. People over here had their clique. Kevin Garnett had his clique or whatever back in the start of the 2010s. I get all that. However, the one thing I will say about LeBron and the reason why I'm picking him is the great role model that he is. And that's super. And I know I'm picking more heartfelt stuff. And also I don't want to pick Tom Brady. But when I look at what he has opened up his school, I look at what he has done in being very aware of some of the issues that happen outside of his everything that he has earned and worked for. The fact that he is articulated at a very smart level as to what the problems are in the country and also the problem that he faced when he was growing up and the stuff that he came up with. He articulates all this well. And not only that, he has matured. I'm not saying that, there were times, there were some moments he would flop a little. He was known for flopping hard in certain games to get certain plays his way. But I'm like, even when LeBron was going to the Heat and stuff of that nature, I was never a LeBron hater. Like, I hate him. I can't stand him. I was never that guy. But I was somebody that respected him from a distance. And I think that when you look at everything that he has done, championships aside and all that type of stuff, and I know Tom Brady won more championships in his field of work than LeBron did currently at this point. I look at the bigger picture. I look at the impact. The problem is that Tom Brady's Super Bowl rings and how he moves is always going to be scrutinized by fans or by people outside or even some peers that look at that organization and look at the Patriots organization as an organization that can cut any corners to get ahead or cut any corners to win. So with LeBron, you don't hear that. You don't hear that wherever he goes. Cleveland, when he won a championship for them, you ain't hear nobody bashing him. Outside of the first time he left Cleveland. Outside of that, you didn't hear anything.
I mean, it's like comparing apples and oranges.
Right,
when you make it to an NBA Finals or an NBA championship or just the playoffs, you got multiple games you got to win. You got a best of whatever series. Football, you got to be perfect for one game. So, if depending on how you look at that, football, you could lean towards football and saying, well, listen, you got to be the best of that game. You can't say, oh, I can take a game off and then come back next game and figure out how to beat them. Then again, if you look at it like that, then the best man doesn't always win. It's different ways. It's apples and oranges. Yeah. And then in basketball, you can say, well, they had enough games to play each other to come back to fix what they needed to fix, to do what they needed to do to keep them in the hunt.
Because you're comparing 16 games to 80-something almost. There's a difference there. It's a longer season.
There's a huge difference. So for me, like I said, it's subjective, and we're mentioning two of the best players in the world. We're probably not even mentioning the best players in the world because we're being very subjective, and neither of us are soccer fans because there's so many great soccer players.
Christian, I forgot.
Cristiano Ronaldo, whatever.
Christian Ronaldo, yeah, him.
Christian Ronaldo.
We may be butchering his name,
terrible.
But
I respect.
He may be the athlete. If we brought somebody in here that was huge into soccer, somebody from a different that's something I do want to do. Bring somebody in that's a big soccer fan and talk about him.
Not even just that. NHL,
right?
Baseball. I mean, there's so many different athletes out there. Tennis,
right?
Serena Williams would probably have been.
If we're talking females a decade, she's got it.
Ronda Rousey. I mean, come on. There's so many of them. There's just so. I mean, you can hate all you want, but for the 6-7 years she was on top, she was on top. So
the only reason why I'm grimacing like that is because she didn't dominate a decade like Serena Williams did.
She didn't, but it's also a different sport. She wasn't getting punched in her fucking face out there. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different. Like I said, it's different. So subjectively, I'm going to say Tom Brady. I'm an American. Football is my thing. I hate Tom Brady, but 4 Super Bowls in a decade, bro.
So we're going to have a little bit of
possibly a 5th one. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just saying that it's possible that they would have won this season would still count as part of that decade.
Don't jinx anything.
I'm not,
I swear to God,
not.
if you jinx something,
we're playing Tennessee.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
I swear to God, Jeff. So with that being said, we want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening in. But we also want to leave you with a little note. I want you to comment below because there's 2 categories that we did not mention. Who do you think had the movie of the decade? And also, who do you think was who had the song of the decade? Oh. So, song of the decade and movie of the decade. So for those of you who are listening to this and got through the whole entire end, comment below as to what you think the song of the decade was and also the movie of the decade. Well, with that being said, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. Until next time, everybody. Jeff, I want to thank you because you've been rocking with me for several episodes in 2019, and I definitely appreciate you being a reoccurring guest. So with that being said, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. Until next time, everybody. See ya. Happy New Year.